Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to just bring you up to date on where we currently are. We are now in Module 2, and I guess just to take a step back, in Module 1 we looked at or got an introduction to public administration, and one of the key things that was discussed was the fact that public administrators aim to be efficient, effective, and accountable to the public, to the constituents in which we serve. I guess a question that you may want to ask is whether or not that can be achieved, if each of those things can be achieved equally, or are they achieved at the expense of another. So is it more important to be efficient and not as important to be accountable and effective, or more important to be accountable and then you lose some efficiency and effectiveness? So I guess the main thing to keep in mind is how realistic is it to expect our public administrators and government in general to equally be accountable, effective, and efficient. And the chapter focused on this idea and used the backdrop of the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2012, I believe it was. So it gives us a little idea of what are some of the things that the challenges that public administrators face in terms of being accountable, effective, and efficient. So 2010 was the Deepwater issue or problem. Also, so now we are moving into Module 2, and in Module 2 we cover chapters 2 and 3 of the Kettle book, and in particular with the focus there, we look at the scope of government and in some ways the functions of government. And I guess one thing we want to keep in mind is, or a question we may want to ask is government efficient? And if it isn't efficient, how can we help it to become more efficient? And I think we'll cover those issues and address some of those concerns later on in the quarter, in the summer. And then another question that many people have, because there's a feeling that government isn't responsive, but do elected officials really care about the public? Do they care about you and I, or are they just concerned with being reelected? And as a result, how does that transcend into what public administrators do? Because in many ways they take their direction from elected officials, and in turn, our public administrators actually concerned with the public. So keep that in mind as you go through the second module. Also, I sent an email with instructions on the group discussions for each module, at least for modules 2 through 8, or 2 through 9, I apologize. And it's a step-by-step process in terms of how to post your question or answers to the group discussion question. I've also identified there are 6 groups in the class, so the class is broken up into 6 groups, and there's about 7 students in each group. So what you'll have to do to make a post or answer the discussion question is go to the module in which we currently are, scroll down and click on group discussion. From there you'll see a list of the groups that are available. You click on your group, whether it's group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and then that'll bring you to a screen that shows all the group discussions for the quarter. You'll want to click on the appropriate discussion question for whichever module we're in. So for the first group discussion, it's in Module 2, and subsequent modules or subsequent questions follow the modules accordingly. So make sure you answer the correct question for that particular module. And indeed, if you do have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me and let me know. Although I think it's pretty self-explanatory. For those of you who have not taken an online class before, it may be a little different. So feel free to definitely ask any questions you have. Also, at the end of this week, you'll have your first quiz. That'll be quiz number 1. It opens Friday at 12 a.m. and you'll have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to take the quiz. The quiz consists of 15 multiple choice questions, and you'll have 20 minutes to take the quiz. So I suggest that you take it before Sunday at 11:50, because it won't give you enough time to complete the entire quiz. and once all the quizzes have been taken, then you'll see which answers that you've answered correctly or incorrectly. Alright, so I look forward to reading through the group discussions and seeing a lively conversation. And I would suggest looking at the group discussions as a class discussion. So there's no minimum number of posts that you need to make, or even a minimum number of words that you need to have in each post. But just make sure that you answer the question comprehensively, and that you're an active participant in the group discussion. Alright, thanks a lot, and if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.